Hello everyone, welcome to our session on cloud certification and roadmap. Today we are going to cover session on how to achieve cloud certification on AWS and Microsoft Azure. So I will hand over the session to Yogesh and Yogesh will cover AWS cloud certification roadmap.
Hi all, thanks Ashish. Hi all, good morning, good afternoon, depending on the region wherever you are. So my today I'm going to cover the AWS Cloud Certification Roadmap. So without wasting time, let's get started. First I'll introduce myself, a brief introduction. I'm Yogesh Sharma, working in Tata Consultancy Services as a cloud architect. I have over of 10 plus years of experience, and since last 5 years, I'm working in cloud, DevOps, ML, data, and Python area. I am also a AWS community builder. So it's a new program that AWS started in the last quarter of 2020. In terms of certification, I'm currently holding the three certification, and out of them, one is the AWS Solution Architect Professional. I am also a technical speaker and blogger, and have given various conferences like on the AWS Community Day India, Community Day San Francisco, and I'm also running a blog multicloudwarrior.com, and I'm also active on the dev blog. So that was me, and you can also connect with me over the LinkedIn. So this is my LinkedIn handler. Now, let's start the journey of the AWS certification. So, as most of us know, AWS provides certification in terms of like according to your role. So, AWS has different certification. Like they will start the certification as the basic level, or I would say at the entry level certification that they call as the cloud practitioner, where you just need to have a basic fundamental knowledge of the AWS and their its core services, and few of the other stuff like the basic support plan, how AWS works, how what are all the AWS regions, availability zones, how AWS infrastructure, global infrastructure works, and these kind of stuff. And the recommended experience for that is like 6 months, but it is something like, okay, anyone can do that. Like I have seen the various students that are basically studying the engineering or any bachelor's course, so they are also doing that. So it's not something like it has to be like you have to be working in the AWS, but you can attempt this particular certification versus reading the core services of AWS. Then the next track is the associate level. So AWS provides three associate level certification: solution architect associate, that is the most popular one. Developer level associate, that is I would say the most practical one, and sysops administrator also. So the recommended experience that AWS said is like 1 year, and but like I would say, like it is like most of the people, because cloud practitioner certification AWS launched like 2 or 2.5 years ago. So earlier most of the people attempted the associate level certification as their entry level certification, but now they have introduced the practitioner. But there is no must thing like, okay, you need to pass the cloud practitioner, then only you can attempt the associate or professional specialty. Nowadays anyone can attempt any certification, doesn't matter if he or she has cleared the previous level certification or not. Okay, so moving on, the next level of certification are the professional, and we do have a specialty also. So I would say like both professional and specialty are kind of at the same level in terms of complexity, in terms of the knowledge, or in terms of going deep dive into the topics. So these two categories is something like candidate needs to have the good hands-on experience, and ideally the candidate should have like the daily, working experience on the AWS core services, if not all, but he should have like definitely a good hands-on working experience on AWS core services. So in professional role-based certification, AWS provides the solution architect professional, DevOps engineer professional, and specialty they provide advanced network, big data, security, and they also provide like few others that I have not listed down in this particular screenshot. The others one are the machine learning, data analytics, Alexa builder, but I think Alexa builder certificate they are retiring probably in next 1 or 2 months. So this professional specialty is the, as I said, like okay, if someone is basically clearing these certification, passing these certification, then it is being like treated very good certification to hold on in the industry. Like you can post it on the LinkedIn or your professional profile, or like on the various blogs, and people will like recognize you and appreciate if you have like cleared professional specialty level certification. Very helpful. Very helpful, and like when I say very helpful, it's like very helpful if you want to have some kind of promotion in your current job role, or if you want to switch, or if you want to like move into the cloud area. Okay, so the top tips to prepare, I will cover like few of the resources that you should target, like that will help you to gain the knowledge in terms of certification, or that will give you an edge when you are attempting those certification. But before that, we'll cover like few tips. So the first tip for every certification is like do as much hands-on that you can do. So what people I've seen, like what most of the candidates are doing is like we do have some specific course for the specific certification, and what are they doing, like just memorizing the whole stuff and writing down all the notes, and then they are attempting all the certification, and it happens like because there are no like the practical dumps, I would say. And if someone is saying like okay, I have the dumps and you will clear the certification, just avoid that particular guy or that particular website, because it's not like there's no real dumps, I would say. And one should also like avoid those kind of situation, because if you still like clear the certification with them, it doesn't matter. Like the crux of the matter is like you need to gain the knowledge. That is why like you're attempting those certifications. So the hands-on is very important. Just sign up for the AWS platform, AWS console, and AWS provide like 700 free hours usage of EC2 T2 micro instances. There are various other free services. There are other services that AWS will charge you for that. It won't be like if you are doing some hands-on, if you are following few exercise, they will charge you very minimal, but that will also like help to gain the knowledge. The second tip that I would want to say is like you need to set the target date. So suppose if you are planning for some certification, you need to think, okay, I will give that particular certification in maybe a month, maybe in this particular quarter, or maybe in like after 4 months, and just schedule the certification, or think of like okay, I will schedule maybe after like maybe say like let's say 6 months. Because what happens whenever like you set that target date, your mind automatically works in that particular direction, and you will also have a goal in mind, like I need to clear this particular certification, so that will help you mentally also. The third tip is like whenever you are reading any course, or if you're following any course, or if you're reading any blog, or if you're reading like the AWS FAQs or the white paper, I would suggest just write down the main highlighting main things, and just create your own notes or the flashcards, so that maybe like just before exam, just before like week or two, you can like just glance through all the details, all the minute details that they will ask, like for example, um, they will ask like, okay, what are all the exact API method that you will use whenever, like, suppose you are listing down the S3 buckets, or like, you are removing the S3 buckets object. So it might happen like, okay, you understand all the stuff, but few things that you need to memorize, that you can write it down. The fourth tip is the time management, and time management plays role in every level of certification, be it the associate, professional, or the specialty. But if I talk in particular, the in professional level and in specialty level, time plays a very crucial role. Like, you will get 170 minutes, you would be having like 65 to 75 hard questions. It would be roughly like 2.5 minutes per question. And believe me, like, in professional and the specialty exam, the question would be like too verbose, too lengthy. The options are itself very lengthy, and on top of that, like, you need to select multiple answers for that particular question. So you need to manage your time really well while attempting the exams, and also while preparing the exams. Like, you need to devote a specific amount of hours each day to prepare for the exam. The next tip is like the share what you learn. So if you just try to engage in a specific study group, or suppose if you are doing some hands-on activity, just create your GitHub repository, just share with the larger audience. Or maybe you can join the 100 day of cloud challenge, so that like, you will remain motivated, and you will learn from others experience also. Or maybe, like, you will get to know, like, if someone has already attempted, and if they are stuck, maybe, like, they have passed, or maybe they have failed, you will get to learn from their experiences also. Last few tips would be related with the AWS sources. Like, if you are preparing for any level of certification, you need to look into the AWS FAQ, frequently asked questions. So AWS has like a whole lot of services. I would say like more than 150 services. But from the exam guide, you'll get to know which are all the main services that AWS is targeting with respect to the specific certification. So you need to go through the AWS FAQs only for the important or the core services that they will highlight in the exam guide. The next thing is like AWS white papers, very very important, because AWS white paper, AWS mentors and AWS technical staff have written all these white papers while thinking of various use cases that industries adopting and various best practices. And in the certification exam, you can see like they are basically asking various case-based scenarios questions. So in the white paper, you will get to know various best practices and various kind of architecture that industry is adopting. So it will help you a lot while attempting the certificate exams questions. Next thing would be the AWS reinvent videos. So it happens with me, like I was struggling with a bit about the networking stuff. Then I find it out, like, AWS reinvent, one of the AWS solution architect, network specialist solution architect, has spoken about the AWS Transit Gateway, VPC, VPN, and all the related networking stuff. And he has explained those services in a very easy way, I would say, and while giving the use cases, so that you will get to know kind of working picture how all those things works in a connected manner, and how those things works in a very scalable and durable manner. So though AWS reinvent videos are very useful, and also you'll get to know, like, how different AWS services works when we need to build a distributed kind of architecture. And the last thing would be like practice exams. It's not a must thing, but it is like good to have, because if you are reading, like, all those services, FAQs, following some courses, but what practice exams provide is like, you can get a feel like how the real exam would be, and how you are going to manage your time in the real exam. If you are doing well, and if you are doing if you're managing your time well in the practice exam, then you will get a good amount of confidence once you're attempting those certification exams. So now quickly move on to the resources that one can think of while preparing for the AWS certification. So I have listed down like various resources. At this particular point of time, I will discuss the AWS provided resources. So with respect to the AWS certification, you can able to find out AWS exam guide. So I have listed down the exam guide for the developer associate. Similarly, we can get the exam guide on the AWS certification portal for every certification that AWS provides. Uh, Please follow these exam guide because they have listed down like how they are segregating a different section, how much weightage they are giving to different section, so that you can get an idea, okay, in which particular service or which particular architecture you need to focus on to get a good marks in the certification exam. Next thing is like AWS training. AWS has a training site, AWS training, and they provides various exam readiness training, various training on the onto different services. I will highly recommend the exam readiness guide. So I have just mentioned the exam readiness guide for the certification solution architect professional, because this exam readiness guide will give you a picture, because say for example for cloud practitioner and associate level, they are basically looking for an answer, maybe like kind of straight away answer to a particular question. But in the professional or the specialty level exams, they are looking for, definitely they are looking for the answer, the answer, but they will go the all the option that they will give you are basically very closely related, and you will find like all the but those answers are correct, but you need to choose the most appropriate answer. So those kind of things you will get into the exam readiness guides. Also they will show you all those tricks and all the way how basically you can approach to the professional specialty level certification via giving various examples also. The last thing is that AWS provides a various workshop, like you can check the link workshop.aws, awesome AWS workshop, ECS, EKS workshop, and they will give you like the hands-on instruction, like if you want to work on the ECS, if you want to work on specific services, how you can target that and how you can launch those kind of services, and how you can create a like durable architecture using different services. So these are very nicely written, nicely created workshop. One can check it. The next thing is that I want to mention is the free resources that is available on the internet. These are definitely the external resources, but these are free resources that one can target. So for cloud practitioner and AWS developer associate, one can follow the Exam Pro courses that is available on the free code camp, and it has been created by the Andrew Brown, who is basically the AWS community hero, and he's very active in the AWS community on his personal blog, over the LinkedIn, over the free code camp, and also on the YouTube. And I have seen like various other candidates have followed Andrew Brown course, and they have cleared the certification. So definitely a recommended one if you are looking for the free external resources. Also, you can follow different blogs. For example, I have written one blog like how you can clear the developer associate certification. Similarly, you can target for various blogs that suppose you can find onto the Medium or onto the dev blog or the LinkedIn. Just be active, join any study group so that you will get to learn from the other people's experience. Now, the another interesting topic would be the paid resources, definitely the external ones. So first one was from the Stephen. You can find it at Udemy. Personally, I followed the Stephen course and found it very useful, very neat way to explain the AWS certification related services. So highly recommended. Similarly, the Cloud Guru and Adrian Cantrell has their own courses. You can follow these particular courses also, but you need to pay something. Like Stephen course on Udemy would be around like $14-15, but trust me, it's every penny worth. So if or maybe like if you're working in any corporate in any corporate, or maybe like your corporate has some tie up with the Udemy platform, or maybe a Cloud Guru or Linux Academy, then you can avail these courses for free. Otherwise, like $14-15 is not really a costly affair that you can think of. The next thing would be the practice question, as I explained earlier. Practice question is something, okay, you can whatever the knowledge that you have gained over with respect to the certification exam, you want to like you want to test or you want to validate that particular knowledge. So for that thing, practice question comes a great role. First option that I would suggest with respect to the practice question would be the tutorial Doho. So there is one guy, John Bonso, and he runs this particular website. And trust me, he provides a really good practice question, practice exam material. And for every question, he has he has given like a good detailed explanation also, so that uh, suppose if you are attempting the practice exam and you have given the wrong choices, then ultimately you will get to know why this is not the most appropriate answer, or maybe like why they have like selected this particular option as a correct answer. So we'll get to know the reasoning and the understanding behind the right answer. The next one would be the AWS provides practice questions. So once you will sign up on the AWS certification portal, so on the same portal where you need to schedule for the specific certification exam, you can also schedule and choose the AWS practice questions also. It would be like $20 for 20 questions, and if you pass the exam, as a so what AWS is giving, like they will provide a 50% off to your next AWS certification, and along with that they will also give you a coupon code that you can avail for the 100% off for the next AWS practice question. So I would say like it's one time affair to spend the $20. After that, whenever like you pass the certification exam, you can attempt the next AWS practice question as a freebie. Yeah, so the last thing is what I want to highlight is the AWS Solution Architect professional tips, because it is something like I mean I would say it is the hardest certification right now what AWS provides. So the first tip definitely would be the practice, the hands-on practice that I have explained earlier also. Second would be, as I said, like exam is really challenging, both professional and speciality, and you will find like the whole lengthy verbose questions along with the responses. And as I said, like it is very exhausting exam, hard and definitely harder than the practice exams. And there would be no simple or direct question. All question would be the scenario based. All option that you will see you will see like okay all options are correct, but again you need to choose the most appropriate one. Or maybe like if they have asked in the question like select the solution as per the cost effectiveness or the operational like excellence, or maybe it's the security related, select the most secure solution. So you need to focus on that particular thing, and then only you can choose the right answer. Also, the elimination approach will work best in the case of professional and the specialty exam. But again, as I said, the third tip, you need to manage your time because exam would be really long. So because I have given the solution architect professional, and I think I completed the last question, and after that it was like 10 minutes. 10 minutes was remaining just to like go through all the question that I have marked. So it is a really long and exhausting exam, I would say. And the last thing would be, okay, don't trust the practice exam. Like, you are not going to have any direct questions from the practice exams. Like, these are not dumps, right? This is just the practice exam that will give you a feel of the real exam, and also that will give you a chance to manage your time. And also, last but not the least, is like, remember, journey matters. So enjoy the preparation journey, enjoy as much as what you learn, and share those learning with others. Also read as much as blogs that you have. AWS has like great set of blogs that Jeff Barr started, and now various other solution architects have join the attempt the 100 ever cloud challenge over the LinkedIn or Twitter, so that it will give you a kind of responsibility. Okay, you need to learn something every day, and you need to attempt something in the cloud space, so that it will help you not only to gain only the certification, but it will strengthen your knowledge, and strengthen, like, it will clear your all the concepts in terms of AWS cloud. And remember, there's no secret ingredient. It's just you and your hard work. So thank you. Ashish, over to you.
Thanks, Yogesh, for the excellent session on the AWS. Let me share my screen to give you a brief overview on the Azure certification. I hope you can see my screen.
Yeah, Ashish, I can.
Okay. So if someone is looking for the certification in the Azure side, you can go through this roadmap. You can go through this session on this. So let me describe about me. I'm a solution architect, and I'm certified administrator and architect. I have an experience of 6+ years in the Azure infrastructure. I'm also certified in Kubernetes. And in case you need more information related to me and my blog, you can refer to www.ashishsharma.com. Microsoft has announced some changes in its role-based certification, such as Azure Administrator, Azure Solution Architect, Azure Developer, Azure AI Engineer, and also announced few new certification. So here are the list of Azure certification, as you can see in the screen. Microsoft Azure certifications are organized into 3 levels. It's a fundamental, associate, and expert. It's quite same like the AWS certification, but here we have a same terminology like fundamental, associate, and the expert. These certification purely focus on building knowledge and the skills related to market job roles. And this revolution was made with the engagement of community after identifying the job requirements. Let's move to the next slide, where we will discuss about the fundamental certificate, and it's the gateway for all the non-technical or non-cloud user to enter in cloud certification of Azure. Fundamental level certification are currently there are 3 fundamental certification. It's AZ 900, AI 900, and DP 900. AZ 900 certification is designed to validate the foundation knowledge of Azure cloud services. It also helps non-technical candidates to understand cloud services that are offering, such as sales, purchasing, and marketing. While AI 900 is basically for AI and ML user who has the knowledge about artificial intelligence and machine learning, they can go for the fundamental certification of AI 900. While the data, I mean, one who is maintaining the databases, RDMS or NoSQL, they can go with Microsoft Azure Data Fundamental DP 900 certification. This is the most important certification, as non-IT technicals or you can say non-cloud engineers can go through this course and understand the basic knowledge, or you can say the fundamental knowledge about the cloud services. Let's move to the next slide, and where we will discuss about the associate level certification. Here are the list of associate level certification, and as you can see, like there are certification related to Azure administrator, Azure developer, security, AI, data centers, data engineer, and database administrator as well. Microsoft Admin Associate AZ 104, it validates the knowledge and skill of implementing, monitoring, and maintaining the Azure services, including compute, storage, networking, and security. Developer AZ 204 certification is designed for the developer who design, build, and maintain the cloud application and services. AZ 500 security exam is for those candidates who wants to implement and manage security controls, identity, and access management that is responsible to secure your cloud infrastructure. The one who knows about the artificial intelligence and machine learning can go for associate exam AI 100, and it includes the solution like NLP, that is natural language processing, speech, computer vision, bots, agents using cognitive services, machine learning, and knowledge mining. There are other certificates as well. If you are aware of Azure services, as well as you have the knowledge of data centers, you can go through the DP100 data engineer and the Azure administrator. If you have the knowledge of Azure administrator and the Azure services, then you can go for DP300. In next slide, we will discuss more about the expert level certification. This expert level certification is designed for candidates who are adequate for the businesses and translate business needs into reliable, secure, and scalable cloud solution. Candidates require advanced knowledge and expertise in various IT operations, including virtualization, identity management, virtual networking, security, business continuity, data management, and disaster recovery. And they should be aware of the budgeting and governance of Azure resources. This expert level certification requires proficiency in the Azure administrator, development, and operation. So to become an Azure solution architect, you should be expert in the Azure services. While we have one more exam that is related to Azure DevOps engineer, if you are maintaining the complete Azure services and also maintaining the CI/CD, you can go for the Azure DevOps engineer. Now let's quickly dive into next slide, where we will discuss about the tips and tricks to clear the Azure certifications. Yogesh has already mentioned about the tips and tricks to clear the AWS certification. The tips are quite same, and these are the steps that I have listed down while clearing my AZ500 security examination. Security is quite new for me, so I just make a part and then focus on this. So let's discuss one by one. So point number one is to pick up a certification path. You need to review the Microsoft certification and pick a certification as per your role and requirement. Few months back, my requirement was to clear the security certification because my company needs security engineer. That's why I make a part and choose AZ500 for my exam part. Next, schedule exam first. Yes, you have to schedule your exam and prepare for it. After scheduling an exam, it motivates you to meet your deadlines. Next one is get your hands dirty. Get an Azure subscription and start doing and learning. You can get a free subscription with around 200 USD, and there are 25 plus Azure services that you can use anytime. Next, I would suggest you should go for the Azure portal. Log into portal.azure.com. This is main GUI site for creating and managing Azure services. Block your time to study. I would say that while working from 9 to 5 hour corporate job, I didn't get much time to study on Azure 10. I manage my time and I block 2 hours after my office hour and 3 hours on weekend to prepare for my exam. So I would suggest just block your time and during that time focus on your exam preparation. Next, practice test. There are several websites for practice tests that can help you. Enroll yourself and start giving the practice exam. It will really beneficial for you while giving you the Azure certification. Next one is Azure, Microsoft Azure resources. I would recommend to refer the Azure documentation for any doubt. Also, you can refer the Azure Microsoft Learn to understand concept and tutorials of Azure. These are the some Microsoft Azure resources that you can go through while preparing your certification. You can refer the Azure documentation